Hello my dear friends, welcome to Life and Beyond. I am Sangeetha, a doctor based in India and someone who is very crazy about health, happiness and productivity. So in this channel, I share with you the experiences that I had along my journey, the things I learned and the things I am still struggling with. So in this video, I am going to share with you the 10 productivity hacks that has made my life a lot simpler and effective. So before going to the hacks, let me tell you why I became so focused on getting the tips and tricks for productivity. So initially, my life used to be like this. When I get up in the morning, I had a lot of calls to answer to my patients, to my colleagues, to my hospital, and then a lot of emails to reply to. When I go to the kitchen to get some works done, then I notice that some things I am running low. And then on the drive to hospital, suddenly it pops into my mind that I have to confirm the health talk which I had already offered that I would do, and I had to call back a friend. Then I go to the hospital, do all the works, and then I come back home, most of the things still undone, and then at night I realized that I had missed on a very important social commitment. It might be my friend's birthday, it might be my kids' academy session, and then the cycle repeats. So literally I got fed up with my schedule and the things I had to do. So I had to have some tips and tricks, some hacks that would make my life a lot simpler. I deserved it. So then I actively searched on all the videos and the books and stuff like that, and then I came upon these techniques which I personally used in my life, and most of the things have worked out since then. So let's dive into the productivity hacks. So the first one of the productivity hack that I used is the good old to-do list. This might sound as a cliche for most of you, but I have been using this for almost 10 years and it has turned my life a lot better. So initially, I used to be a bit skeptical about writing everything down and then trying to do them one by one. But later, when I went through the studies, I realized that our brain is crafted to create the ideas, but it has a lesser efficiency to store them as compared to creating them. So we need something external to store our ideas so that we can do the items that we are supposed to do from time to time. But the crux here is not to rely on both. Don't write down half of the things that you have to do on a to-do list and then trust your brain for the rest half. Do the 100%. That is, do everything, you write it down in your to-do list so that you can free your brain of remembering the things and then actually doing them. And you can just forget about what are the things that you are supposed to do and then do them actually when they are scheduled to be done. So what I do is I have a yearly list, a monthly list, a weekly list, and then a daily list. So on my absolutely best days, I plan my to-do list on the previous day night so that I can head on with my day as soon as I wake up. And on almost most of the days, I have my to-do list written up on the day and then I just head on with that. So how I actually go about doing the to-do list is most of the times I use the good old paper and pen. I'm very comfortable with writing the things and getting it done. But if I'm on the go or I'm outside, I rely on apps to write down the things that I need to be done and later that I transfer it to my to-do list. So what are the benefits that I had using the to-do list? The first and foremost thing is my brain is totally freed up. Actually, what happens is that when I have to do one thing, that is if I have to attend my kids' academic function, then what I do is I again and again remind myself that, oh, I have to go for this function at 4 o'clock in the evening. So my brain is totally stressed. If I'll forget that, I'll miss that, I'll embarrass myself. If I put it in a list, then up to 4 p.m. it is totally gone from my mind, and later on when I see the to-do list, I know at 3:30 that I have to go for the function at 4 o'clock. So it has totally freed up my brain. That is the most important thing. And the second thing is it helped me to prioritize. So when I see in my to-do list the 20 things staring up on my face, I know for obvious reasons that writing a content for a YouTube video is far more important than going for a grocery shopping. So I have a guilt feeling when I start to go for grocery shopping before I write the content for the video. So I make myself sit and write the content, and then what happens is that after I write the content, I'm so full of positivity and energy that I end up going for grocery shopping, and finally both of the things get done. So that is the second thing. And the third thing is nothing is missed. So when I write everything, I have to make it a point that I write 100% of the things that I have to do in the list, and that ensures that nothing skips my mind. Everything gets done sooner or later. And if for some reason I'm not able to do something on the very next day, then I just postpone it. I just rewrite it on the to-do list for the next day or the next week, so that it is still there. It is not just disappeared from the mind. So this is about the to-do list. The second most important thing that has helped increase my productivity drastically is the use of alarms. So most of the time in my work schedule, be it an online consultation with my patients, or be it some webinars that I have to attend, be it some talk that I have to give, or my kids' session, or whether it's a surgery that I'm scheduled to do. So all this mostly are based on some time schedules. So what I do is I have my phone, I have my watch. So I tend to create alarms for all the most important things, so that I don't have to remind again myself that I have this schedule, I have this appointment, so I need to free up this time. And the alarm clock, I know that it will ring at that time, and then I remind myself, and then I get ready to do whatever the thing that I am supposed to do. So I use alarms whenever possible, so that my brain is totally relaxed about that commitment. The third productivity hack that I found really helpful is the art of organizing or batching. So most of the days I have a lot of phone calls to return to, or to call up my colleagues for my other YouTube channel, or to reply to the emails. So what I do is, even if it is all there scattered in my to-do list, I tend to organize the things, the similar tasks, into small groups, and then I make out the time to do that particular task all together, so that I don't have to take small bits of time throughout the day to get that similar task done. So that has helped me a hell lot to make my life more productive. Another very simple yet very important productivity hack for me was the discovery of the 2-minute rule. I got to know about this rule from the book Get It Done by David Allen. It's a very simple, ultra useful productivity hack that I try to use as much as possible. So the 2-minute rule goes like that: if you feel that you can finish off a task in less than 2 minutes, then you have to get it done then and there itself. So don't put it for some other time to get the things done which are very small. So for me, I have individualized that 2-minute rule. So I'm a person who likes to tick off the things. I get a lot of pleasure and satisfaction in just ticking off the things. So what I do is, I put down the things that are very small, even if they are very small, in the to-do list, and then I get it done then and there itself. So there are two benefits which I perceive is for that. One is that it is done anyways then and there itself. The other thing is I get the pleasure of taking out that things. And the third extra benefit is that I know that I have done these things, whether it is very small or not. I know that seeing my to-do list, I have accomplished all these things in a day. Another very important principle that has saved me is the principle of Pareto principle. I've talked about Pareto principle in my previous video, so you can log on to that if you want to get a detailed view of the Pareto principle. But here I'll tell in a nutshell what the Pareto principle is. So most of the time what happens is, in our busy schedules, we have a hell lot of things to be completed before we go back to sleep. And what Pareto found out was that only 20% of these 100% things create 80% of the results. Rest 80% of the things that we are scheduled to do in a day yields only 20% of the results. So if we concentrate on the most important 20% of the things to be done in a day, we will be far more productive than if we concentrate on the rest 80 things to be done in a particular day. So when I create the to-do list on the previous day night or on that particular day morning, I tend to figure out, if I'm writing 10 things in a to-do list, I tend to figure out the 2 things that are absolutely important to be completed in that day, and I try to do it as much as possible, as early as possible, and then come back to the rest 8 which I may or may not complete in a particular day. Another very effective similar principle is the principle of 2-day rule. I heard about this 2-day rule from a very famous YouTuber, Matt Diavela. He used this to-do rule to create a workout pattern after being unsuccessful in most of his workout routines. So his rule goes like this: when you are going to do something that is recurring on a daily basis, make sure you don't skip more than a day together. That is, if you are planning to work out, make sure that you don't skip 2 days in a row and fail to work out on 2 consecutive days. So what happens in this is, there are 2 benefits. One thing is that you tend to get offs every now and then, but the things goes on continuously without much break and without you stopping it altogether. So if I have to do some phone calls or I have to call back someone, literally I have that every day of my life. So I make sure that I don't skip returning the calls 2 days in a row and then make myself forget that thing altogether. Then after a week, I suddenly realize that I have a lot of backlog on returning the calls. So if I just skip returning the calls or returning the emails on one day, I make sure that on the second day, I do that without missing. For most of the bigger things in my life, and for the most of the things that I personally don't like doing, but the things that have to be done, I use the concept of accountability buddy to help me get that things done. So basically, an accountability buddy is someone whom you trust, whom you are very close with. You disclose to them that you are going to do this or that in a particular day and particular time, and then because of the feeling that, okay, you have told someone that you will do, you tend to do and complete that thing rather than your own internal motivation to get that thing done. Another of the very simple but practical tip that I use is the principle of time blocking. So with being a doctor full-time and a homemaker and managing 2 channels, it is very easy to get distracted, and some areas of your life goes totally unnoticed when you tend to focus on 1 or 2 the so-called important areas of your life. So what I do is, I can't do it on a daily basis, but I make sure that I block time on a weekly basis so that I can incorporate all the things that I have. So I block some time for the family every week, and I block time for my channels. I block time for all the online consultations. I block time for managing or talking to the colleagues regarding the videos that we have to do. So I tend to block time to do the similar tasks together, so that I don't have to create time or schedule a particular time every day to make things done in a particular day. I know that I have this time block in this particular week for these things to be done. So it is automatically set for me. So I don't have to sit up and just go through my day planner where I will incorporate this thing. And also it helps to confirm that things are done, because that block is for that particular thing. So I make sure that, and it automatically makes sure that that thing gets done at that particular time. Then there is one principle that I have given a name for, that is the one thing. So most of the days what happens is that things may or may not go according to the plan, but there are some days when we wake up from the bed and we don't feel like doing anything. So these are the unproductive days of our life where we don't have the initiative or drive to even create a to-do list and to get the 100 things that have to be done. So particularly in those days, I use this principle. I ask myself, which is the one thing that I have to get done today, so as to make myself feel that I have accomplished something. So I don't create a to-do list of 100 things which I know for sure that I'm not going to complete that day. I just focus on the one thing which will make me happy that I did in a particular day. So what happens is that I will accomplish the most important thing that I'm supposed to do in that day. And the second benefit of that thing is that after I do that one thing, usually my positivity and my initiative builds up, and then I am again back into the schedule and I get many more things done than I would have if I had just laid down in the bed thinking about the 100 things that I had to do in the first place. Another important hack or the step that most of us tend to forget is the step of reviewing. So it is not enough to write a to-do list and to get as many things as done as possible, but it is very important to review our to-do list on each evening or night before we sleep so that we can know where we stand. So if you have 20 things to do, you have to know what all things you finished and what is it that you didn't do, why you didn't do that. So everyone has a ulterior motive if the things are not done. So we have to know why, what is a particular reason that that thing is not accomplished. And also in the next day's to-do list, we have to incorporate the things which have been missed in the first day, and then life goes on like that. So if we don't review our to-do list, we don't know where we are wrong. So it might be that you are creating a to-do list, but you are not including your 100% of things in the to-do list, so that your important things are missed even though you have a to-do list in place. So all these mistakes, all these nuances, you find out when you review your to-do list. So always, whatever you are doing, make sure you spend half an hour of the day reviewing the things that you did, what are the positives, what are the negatives, what you can do better to make your life more productive. And the last and the final step is the step of gratification. So our brain is always craving for short-term gratification. So that is why if we have to work out, if we have to convince ourselves that if we work out for 1 year continuously, you will have a fit body, that gratification is very less for our brain than compared to if you work out for 1 hour a day, then you can watch Netflix for half an hour later in the day. So brain is always craving for short-term gratification. So I make sure that whenever I have completed most of the things in the to-do list, or when I have completed that particular thing which I was not personally interested in doing, which I didn't feel like doing, I reward myself. It might be a very small thing depending on the task which I had to do, but I make sure that I treat myself for the things that I have accomplished in a day. It serves as an inspiration to create better to-do list and to perform better with my to-do list and to make my life productive. So this short-term rewards, it might be just being in a parlor for half an hour, or it might be treating myself with a very good dessert, or it might be treating myself with a very good movie. Whatever it is, I make sure that it is something that I absolutely love, and then my brain is like, okay, fine, the to-do lists are fine, because you tend to get these gratification, these rewards when you do the tasks in the to-do list. So my brain becomes more positive for all the things that I have to do just because of this short-term gratification.